All right, in this explainer, we're diving into a massive idea. How to stop being, well, your old self. We're going to use Dr. Joe Dispenza's work to build a really practical guide for making real, lasting personal change.
So let's kick things off with a pretty mind-blowing number. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza's research, by the time we hit 35 years old, a whopping 95% of who we are, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, is basically running on autopilot. It's this unconscious program that we just repeat day in and day out.
And that brings up a huge question, right? If 95% of your day is just a subconscious program, who's really in the driver's seat? Are you consciously creating the life you want, or are you just unconsciously reliving your past over and over again?
Now, this 95% is what Dr. Dispenza calls the program. The best way to think about it is like the default operating system for your life. It's just humming along in the background whenever you're not really, paying close attention.
See, Dr. Dispenza defines a habit as way more than just a simple action. It's a whole state of being. It's this combination of thoughts, actions, and feelings that becomes so automatic, your body is literally on autopilot. It actually knows how to do it better than your conscious mind does.
And this is where the real challenge comes in. This isn't about breaking small habits, like biting your nails. According to Dispenza, the single greatest habit you have to break is the habit of being yourself.
So, how on earth do you break a habit that big? Well, the very first step is making a huge shift from being an unconscious victim of your own programming to becoming a conscious creator of your life.
What that really means is you have to switch from being the program to being the consciousness observing the program. You have to become so aware of your automatic thoughts that they just can't run your life from the shadows anymore.
And this chart here, it just lays it out so perfectly. The old self is always looking backwards, always reacting to things, waiting for something out there to happen so you can finally feel better. But the new self, totally different game. It creates a vision for the future and this is the incredible part, it starts feeling those emotions now, using them to create change from the inside out.
Okay, so this brings us to the how. If breaking free from the past is the goal, how do we practically start creating that future self? Let's get right into this step-by-step process.
The heart of this whole method is something called mental rehearsal, and it works in 3 phases. First, you get crystal clear on the future self you want to be. Then you repeatedly imagine making those new choices. And finally, and this is the absolute key, you teach your body what that future feels like before it even happens.
And here's why that's so incredibly powerful. Your brain has a really hard time telling the difference between a real event and one you just vividly imagine. I mean, they've done studies on piano players that show just thinking about playing a melody fires the exact same neural circuits as actually playing it. Your brain begins to look like the experience has already happened.
This is the big shift. You don't wait for success to feel abundant. You generate the feeling of abundance first, which then signals to your body and your biology that the change has already begun, paving the way for it to show up in your life.
Now, this all sounds pretty amazing in theory, but does it create measurable biological change? Let's actually look at the data Dr. Dispenza's team has collected from their workshops.
The data from thousands of participants in his 7-day workshops is frankly remarkable. It shows that pure mental and emotional work, with absolutely no outside intervention, produces profound physical changes in the body. This isn't just a mindset shift. We're talking about a biological upgrade.
Get this, in just 1 week, people show incredible changes. Their brains function in a more coherent, synchronized way. Their hearts beat in healthier, more orderly rhythms. They even change which genes are being expressed, and their blood chemistry is altered, all without any drugs or supplements.
So, how do you actually apply all this? It all starts with a simple mission you can begin the moment you wake up tomorrow morning.
So instead of grabbing your phone and letting it pull you right back into your past, your emails, your social media, your problems, you take the first few minutes of your day. You sit down. You become conscious of the old self you're ready to leave behind, and then you mentally rehearse and emotionally embody the future self you are choosing to become.
And that really leaves us with one final, powerful question. The past no longer has to equal the future. The power to change is in your hands, and that decision begins the moment you wake up. So, who will you decide to be?